بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ منتهاه القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون. فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته فوتد بالصخور ميدان أرضه. ثم الصلاة والسلام على العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد حبيب الله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله. اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. تلك أمة قد خلت لها ما كسبت ولكم ما كسبتم ولا تسألون عما كانوا يعملون. كنا نعيش ذكرى عاشوراء وذكرى استشهاد سيد الشهداء أبي عبد الله الحسين وأولاده وأصحابه عليهم سلام الله جميعا. وقد ركز الخطباء والمحدثون والمتحدثون على حركة الحسين عليه السلام وبركات هذه الشجرة الطيبة وسنة الله التي تحكم في انتصار الدم على السيف. درسنا ثورة لم تنتهي بالمكان والزمان التي وقعت فيها، بل مثلت حركة حرة عادلة مشرفة وإنسانية في سيرورة التاريخ وزوال الظالمين والطغاة. ونحن نرى اليوم علاقة كبيرة بين معركة كربلاء وما يجري في العالم العربي. من الطبيعي أن دم الحسين عليه السلام ودماء الأبرياء يوحد صفوف المستضعفين ضد قوات الطاغية والاستكبارية. ولذلك نرى الأيادي الشيطانية تعمل ما في استطاعتها لتخوف المؤمنين والمعزين وتمنع الشعوب من الوقوف ضد الظلم والفساد والطغيان. إن السؤال الذي يسأله الكثيرون هو: من يقف وراء استهداف ومهاجمة المواكب الحسينية في العراق أو في باكستان أو سائر النقاط؟ ولقد نرى وحدة في هذه الهجمات الوحشية بين التيارات السلفية والتحالف الصهيوني الوهابي ومثير الفتن الطائفية وبعض الأنظمة الاستبدادية الحاكمة على الدول العربية. إن هذه التفجيرات الإرهابية والمجازر الإجرامية الأعمى بحق الأبرياء في المساجد والحسينيات والأسواق والشوارع تمثل خللا اجتماعيا وفكريا وعقليا وسياسيا في العالم العربي والإسلامي. يتحير الإنسان عندما يرى شابا يدعي التدين ويزعم نصرة الإسلام والدخول إلى الجنة يقوم بتفجير نفسه وسط المصلين والمعزين بسبت الرسول وسيد شباب أهل الجنة، ويسفك دماء مئات من الأبرياء والأبرار. لقد جاء الإسلام ليؤسس مجتمعا يحترم حق الحياة ويعطي للدماء حرمتها ويجعل الدم خطا أحمرا لا يمكن التهاون إزاءه أو السكوت عليه، لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله قال: لزوال الدنيا جميعا أهون على الله من دم يسفك بغير حق. فقال عليه السلام: والله لو كان أهل السماوات والأرض اشتركوا في دم مسلم واحد بريء أو رضوا به لكان حقا على الله أن يكبهم كلهم على مناخرهم في نار جهنم. أين هذا الإسلام الذي يدعونه بعض السلفيين والوهابيين، وبين الإسلام المحمدي الأصيل الذي ينادي الرحمة والمودة ويوصي بالتواصل والتبادل؟ الإسلام الذي يقول رسوله محمد صلى الله عليه وآله: من أحب الأعمال إلى الله إدخال السرور على المسلم، وقوله: من سر مسلما سره الله يوم القيامة. سمعنا كثيرا من الفتاوى التي أثارت الخلافات الطائفية خلال الحرب العراقية الإيرانية، حتى وقعت كارثة احتلال صدام للكويت، فأخذ فيها هذا التيار المتشدد استراحة المحارب وأودع أسلحته مؤقتا لإشهارها حينما تدعو الحاجة إليها. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى الوعي والصمود لأبناء هذه الأمة لكي يقفوا أمام مخططات الأعداء فيفشلوها، ونسأله تعالى أن يحقق لإخواننا وأخواتنا المسلمين في البحرين، السعودية وتونس ومصر ويمن والأراضي المحتلة والشرق الأوسط وكل العالم الإسلامي والعربي والاستضعاف الأمن والاستقرار حتى ينالوا حقوقهم وكرامتهم وحرياتهم. اللهم إننا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله، وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك، وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
صلى الله على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله أكرمه بالنبوة وجعله رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالتك، وصل على وصيه وأخيه أمير المؤمنين وعلى الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، وصل على سبتي الرحمة الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة، وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف القائم المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بصحبة أبي عبد الله الحسين عليه السلام. ونحمد الله سبحانه وتعالى الذي جعل في قلوبنا محبة الله ومحبة القرآن ومحبة رسوله وأهل بيته عليه السلام. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us with the love of the Quran and the Holy Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And as we concluding the occasion of the last 10, 11 nights and days, we thank the teacher of Karbala, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, for teaching us the meaning of life and the purpose of life, for telling us the meaning of Hayatul Abrar, Hayatul Arifin, Al-Hayat Tayyibah, the meaning of a life with dignity, with dedication, with depth, a life with understanding and awareness, a life with sincerity and sacrifice. He taught us in Karbala all these meanings and all these aspects during his conversation with his family, with his followers, even with his enemies. One of the last sermons that he made addressing his companions, he said, أَلَا وَإِنِّي قَدْ أَذِنْتُ لَكُمْ فانطلقوا جميعا في حل ليس عليكم مني ذمام هذا الليل قد غشيكم فاتخذوه جملا. Said, I give you permission to leave. You don't have to feel any obligation. Take the opportunity of the darkness of night, and like the camel, they move fast towards this destination. You can do the same thing. And then we see the reaction from his followers and family. فقال له إخوته وأبناؤه وبنو أخيه لا أرانا الله ذلك أبدا أبدا. The family member said, this would never happen, that we leave you alone. And then the followers, they stood up, and one after another, from Muslim ibn Usajah, والله لا نخليك يا أبا عبد الله حتى يعلم الله أن قد حفظنا غيبة رسوله. We made oath not to leave you alone, not to separate you. We want to make sure that our covenant in the absence of the Prophet is protected. زهير بن القين والله لوددت أني قتلت ثم نشرت ثم قتلت حتى أقتل هذا 1000 مرة وإن الله يدفع بذلك القاتل عن نفسك وعن أنفس هؤلاء الفتيان من أهل بيتك. O son of the Prophet, I swear by God, I wish, I love to be killed and be raised to life again, and to die again, and to come to life again, and this process be repeated 1,000 times. If that can help you, and if that can help the survival of your soul and the souls of this beautiful family that you have, really they taught us the lessons of sincerity and sacrifice. We send our peace and salutations to Imam Hussein and other teachers of University of Ashura. Our salutation to As-Siddiqeen, As-Sabirin, As-Salihin, Ashab al-Azmi wal-Aqli wal-Mithaq wal-Karama. This is the beautiful example and role model that they taught us all this great lesson. Now that Ashura is over, brothers and sisters, it's important that we reflect on our relationship with Imam Hussein, his mission and his messages. Basically, he made the definition of human beings in general when he said, "An-nas abidu dunya." A lot of people are worshippers of this dunya. To the point that he said, وَإِذَا مُحِّسُوا بِالْبَلَاءِ, when they go through the test of obedience, قَلَّتْ دَيَّانُونَ, the faithful are minority. The number of the faithful is down when it goes to test and suffering of hayat. قَلَّ الْمُلْتَزِمُونَ. And we could see during the process of Ashura, even the night that the auditorium was full of people, and these are the best in the community, because a lot of people don't care about Ashura program and they don't even go. But even the faithful who go, out of 700 and 1,000 people, when you discuss the support for the cause of Imam Hussein and you want people to raise their hand and show their support, you see just a few hands, maybe 10 hands or 20 hands out of 500, 700 hands. Although this is the easiest, this is not about dying, this is about doing something that is absolutely possible for us. Absolutely possible for us. If somebody tells me that out of everything that Allah has given to me, if I have $100,000 or $200,000, give just 1,000, and that is for my homes, that's for my tax, that's for my donation, that's for my generosity, and still I have hesitant even to raise my hand for $50, that means really, قَلَّ الْمُلْتَزِمُونَ, we are failing even the easiest imtihan. فَإِذَا مُحِّسُوا بِالْبَلَاءِ, and this is not even a bala, but the lesson that Imam Hussein taught us is very, very important. Especially for us that we expect too much from God when it comes to Ahlul Bayt. Look at what we say, أَسْأَلُ اللَّهَ بِحَقِّكُمْ وَبِالشَّانِ الَّذِي لَكُمْ عِنْدَهُ أن يعطيني بمصاب بكم أفضل ما يعطى مصابا بمصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. We are expecting such a big thing that, oh God, just because we go through the musibat of Imam Hussein, I want you to give me all the highest thing that you gave to Imam Hussein and everybody في السماوات والأرض. You give me everything just because I give a little tears, and that is not even for sure if all of us do it. So we expected too much, but we do a little. أسأل الله أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود لكم عند الله. Wow. You want to be next to the Prophet Muhammad and Imam Hussein and Ahlul Bayt في المقام المحمود, but then we don't want to do anything about that. Like somebody want to become president of the United States and go to the White House, but says, I don't want to talk, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to get involved with campaign and do anything for election, spend any time, do any sacrifice, but I just want to go to the White House. Then you can go to the Saudi Arabia and become a king and doing nothing, really. And that's not even for me and you. It's just a chance that happened to some people that they want to get the sakhatul khaliq bi marzat dunya. That's something for them. But in this country, even if you want to become a mayor or become a member of like a council of the city council, still you have to work hard. So how come then you want to go to heaven and be in the neighborhood of the Anbiya and Ahlul Bayt, but we don't want to do any contribution of our time or our money or in volunteerism or our action or our energy, doing anything for Imam Hussein, but then we expect everything to be al-Maqam al-Mahmud on the highest level of heaven. This is too much to expect from God. And then we make a statement like say, إِنِّي سِلْمٌ لِمَنْ سَالَمَكُمْ وَحَرْبٌ لِمَنْ حَارَبَكُمْ وَوَلِيٌّ لِمَنْ وَالَاكُمْ وَعَدُوٌّ لِمَنْ عَادَاكُمْ. Wow. Brothers and sisters, we have to be careful that we are not lying when we say all of these things. Because Imam Hussein may say to us, please don't lie. You know, he might tell us, don't be hypocrite. Don't try to deceive Allah by saying that I am at harb with anybody who is in harb with Ahlul Bayt, and I am in peace with everybody who is in peace with them. I am the friend of their friends and enemies or enemy of their enemies. So this kind of a statement are very, very heavy statements, and we have to be very careful when we make it. When we say, Allahumma ij'al mahyaya mahya Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa mamati mamata Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I want to live like Imam Hussein lived, like Imam Ali lived, and I want to die like they died. Well, if I'm looking for hayat, the life of Ahlul Bayt and the death of Ahlul Bayt, then I need to do lots of changes in my life. When we say in ziyarat, الإمام حسين عليه السلام الإمام الحسين عليه السلام أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر, that we admire Imam Hussein and we love Imam Hussein because of these qualities. Then we have to practice. Whether we are part of establishment of the salat, establishment of zakat, and performing of promoting what is good and preventing what is evil, this is a responsibility. One of the most important points in Karbala was that Imam Hussein fought for justice. إني لا أرى الموت إلا سعادة والحياة مع الظالمين إلا برمة. I don't want to live with ظالمين, with oppressors. I'm looking for justice. والله لو لم يكن لي في الدنيا ملجأ ولا مأوى لما بايعت يزيد بن معاوية. If I have no place in this planet, I'm not going to compromise with oppression of Yazid. إني سمعت جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يقول من رأى سلطانا جائرا غير عادل مستحلا لحرم الله ناقضا لعهد الله مخالفا لسنة رسول الله يعمل في عباد الله بالإثم والعدوان فلم يغير عليه بفعل ولا قول كان حقا على الله أن يدخله مدخلا. Says, I heard from my grandfather Prophet Muhammad that he said that if you witness the dhulm, the injustice of Jairin, and you said nothing, you were silent and indifferent about that, don't be surprised that in the day of judgment you would be condemned to live in the neighborhood of the same dhalimin and the oppressors. And this is the philosophy of Karbala, of fighting against injustice. And especially we as followers of Ahlul Bayt, we are called Adliya. Adliya means that we believe in Al-Adala, Al-Imama. There's no separation between the leadership and Adala. And this Adala, this justice starts from God. لا يظلم مثقال ذرة. The God that we believe in is a kind of God, the creator of this world, that he doesn't do مثقال ذرة, a tiny injustice to anything and anyone. Al-Adl al-Mutlaq, absolute justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that among the theology of the Muslims, we had two groups of Al-Ash'ara and Mu'tazila, and the Ahlul Bayt school of thought is closer to Mu'tazila, because the Ash'ara believe that anything that God does is just. While Mu'tazila said that means that even if God take somebody who's mu'min, amal salih, a perfect man, if God takes this guy to Jahannam, is good. Whatever is just, because we don't know what is just and what is unjust. So we just look at God. Whatever he did is just. This is the mentality, this is the school of thought of Ash'ara. But the Mu'tazila said justice is objective, it's not subjective. that means that God does what is just. So you see the difference. If you say God, whatever God does is just. This is Ash'ari. But the Mu'tazila said, God does what is just. That means that we as human beings, Allah gave us this intellect to understand what's the difference between justice and injustice. So even if you are not religious, even if you are not Muslims, still we know what is just and what is not just. And we believe in God who acts justly. He does what is just. He would never practice injustice. And this is a school of thought of Ahlul-Bayt, is what we call Adliya. Adliya means there are so many things that, even starting from Imam al-Jama'ah, the one who leads the Friday prayer or any Jama'ah prayer should be just. Doesn't mean that it has to be ma'asum, of course, but that means that غير متجاهر بالفسق, at least you don't see he openly acts evil and unjust and sin. While you see in some other school of thought, the justice not matter. Anybody can lead the prayer. In our school of thought, you want to be Imam al-Jama'ah, you have to be just. You want to be Marja' Taqleed, it's not enough to have knowledge. In addition to knowledge, you have to have justice. You want to be a judge, you need to be justice. You want to go to the court and witness الشهادة من العادل. You have to have justice. You want to follow the school of Anbiya. All of them came ليقوم الناس بالقسط, for social justice. Even Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam that we are waiting for, he is coming for justice. يملأ الله الأرض به قسطا وعدلا بعدما ملأت ظلما وجورا. So the foundation of this faith is justice. And Karbala was exactly for justice. So after Ashura, if we reflect on our relationship on the issues raised in Karbala and the movement of Imam Hussein, we have to figure out, are we on the side of justice or injustice? This is important. Unfortunately, many times we do injustice. رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. We hurt ourselves. We are unjust even to ourselves. When we commit sins, we commit sin, we hurt ourselves, we are unjust to ourselves. Injustice to our souls, injustice to our families, to wife, to husband, to parents, to children, to neighbors, to community, to humanity, to friends, to enemies. Most of the time we exercise this injustice. And unfortunately, when it comes to the political world, we see this kind of injustice is even more evil. You can see millions and millions and millions of people are losing their houses, they are losing their families, they are losing their children. They lose their security, human rights and dignity because of this injustice. This greed, this sense of takathur. When you have the combination of insanity of Saudi and evilness of As-Sahyuniyya. You have As-Saudiyya and As-Sahyuniyya. The insanity and evilness combine and leave no place for sanctity, for security, for a dignified life, for society. And one example is Syria. They are all together to find any kind of peace and ceasefire after even more than 100,000 people lost their lives. For them, it's not enough. Even if 1 million people die, they are not satisfied. Their greed, their injustice are not satisfied. There is a negotiation between Iran and Western power, United States. They do everything to kill any agreement in this negotiation. They want to do everything. The Saudis, the Sahunis, they are together on this issue. And they are saying things absolutely against reason, irresponsible, not logical. Their expectation doesn't make sense. But still they keep saying the nonsense because they don't want to recognize that there is a right movement, there is a hope, there is peace, there is dignity, there is prosperity for those people over there. They do anything to, and we hope that the President and John Kerry and this administration resist the insanity of people like Netanyahu and the Saudi kings and princes, to resist the injustice that's going on and act with logic and common sense when it comes to this issue. Yes, brothers and sisters, after Ashura, we have to remember that the main point of Imam Hussein was justice. He is the teacher of justice. And we as a community have to promote justice. We promote justice with promoting education, with promoting understanding, more community awareness, to raise our children, not only in the college and universities, but also in university of faith, to bring our children to the masajid, to Friday prayer, to occasions, whether it's Ashura or Ramadan or Sunday services or lectures that are educational for our kids, so they have a deep understanding of faith and deep understanding of what is right and what is wrong, what is good, what is evil, what is haq, what is batil, what is wisdom, what is foolishness, what is just, what is injustice. They need to know these concepts, and these concepts are not obvious. So, well, we know what is right, what is wrong. No. If it was as obvious as that, we shouldn't have that much confusion and chaos and fighting in the world. If the things were as clear as you and I think, with the media, with all this propaganda, with all this confusion, with all these lobbies in Washington and Congress, with all this evilness, and the government of money and power and human greed, it's very hard sometimes to see what is clear and what is not clear, what is haq and what is batil. So we have a responsibility to remember Ashura and remember the teachings of Ashura about truth, about justice, about human dignity, human freedom. And I hope that we take this matter seriously. We have a Quranic studies, not a lecture every Sunday at 11 o'clock. There's a breakfast, and it's a good occasion for the families to come and bring their children and get involved in the discussion. As even during the nights of Ashura, in addition to the guests that we had from London or from the area, and House of Wisdom was honored that some of our guests were invited to other majalis every night after finishing the majlis here, and we never stopped them that, well, we are taking the whole responsibility, you are for House of Wisdom. We said, no problem, if you want to go and give lectures or majlis or recitations in other majalis, feel free to do so, because we are for promoting of community service, whether at the Islamic House of Wisdom or any other place. We inshallah continue that, and we used to have engagement every night on the podium. I used to engage the audience, and inshallah tonight is the last night that we are going to continue that. May Allah accept our services, our sincerity, and our service during this Ashura. Brothers and sisters, your participation, your support, your contribution at any level that you could, may Allah reward you in this world and akhirah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma أصلح ما فسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم لا تسلط علينا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. اللهم شاف مرضانا وارض حوائجنا وفك أسرانا وتغمد أرواح أمواتنا بالرحمة والمغفرة والرضوان. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وإلى الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر.